All the rotations seated. First of all, I'd like to invite the President of Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL, Dr. Majas Sylvester, to take a seat. And I request our Sergeant and Army to start. Next, I would like to invite the Chief Guest of today's meeting, Dr. James Daniel, to the dais, please. Followed by Mrs. James Daniel, Sushila James, to the dais, please. Next, I would like to invite our Club Secretary, Rotarian Advocate Muthu Karapapalai, please. Rotarian Dina, please. So, dais, please. Next, the hero of the day, heroine of the day is our club PDG, Major Donor, Dr. JECINTHA, DHARMA. She is the heroine of this day. So we are going to start a meeting. I'll ask the President to adopt call. First of all, we start with the prayer, and you can start with the. I request you to call the meeting to order. I request Rotarian engineer to read the Rotary prayer.
Rotary invocation. O God, Creator and Preserver of mankind, we thank you for inspiring our founder with the principles of Rotary based on high ideals of morality. We implore Thee to help us Rotarians to imbibe deeply the true Rotary spirit and to labor incessantly for the establishment of peace and goodwill among all people, for the elimination of all bars of color, creed and clime, for the removal of economic and social barriers, and for the proper understanding of the sanctity of human personality and the dignity of labor, so that all individuals, all families, and all nations may live in amity and fellowship, and unite around Thy holy feet, and hail Thee as though really art our own true, eternal, and all-loving God. Thank you.
For invoking our own prayer. And now, help us, our President, Dr. Gabriel, to invoke the 4 days.
Good evening to all. The 4 wishes of the things that we think, say or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Let's recommend rotate 8 investors.
Good evening, everyone. It is indeed my pleasure and privilege to welcome you all who are gathered here for the special function, that is the felicitation of our own club member, Rotarian, Major Dina, Dr. JECINTHA DHARMA. So, on behalf of all who gathered here, I would like to welcome the President of Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL, Rotarian Maria Sylvester. Next, I would like to extend a warm welcome to the chief guest of today's evening, Dr. James Daniel, the former principal of Scott Christian College. I request Dr. B.D. Selvan to honor with a bouquet, please. Next, I would like to welcome the spouse of Dr. James Daniel, Professor Sushila James. On behalf of Rotary Club NAGERCOIL, welcome, ma'am. Now this is time to welcome the guest of honor, Rotarian Phils. Geeta Phils. She is the Secretary of Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL Supreme and is the former principal of Scott Christian College. Welcome you, ma'am. Next, I would like to welcome our club secretary, Rotarian Advocate Muthu Kalpapillai, with the work, please. Now, all dignitaries who are seated here, I would like to welcome our district secretary, Rotarian Sadiq Ali, and all the past assistant governors of RI District 3 to 1-2 for the year 2021 and 22. All who gathered here, welcome you, sir. And all the computer students who gathered here to receive the certificates, welcome all the students and all the present assistant governors of various clubs and visiting Rotarians, everyone who gathered here. Finally, I would like to the heroine of this function, Rotarian Major Donor, Dr. JECINTHA DHARMA. Thank you for every Rotarian who gathered here for this function. Thank you.
And I requested our club secretary, Romanian, Advocate Muthukarpillai, to briefly present the last meeting, the minutes of the meeting.
Good evening. The 23rd meeting of Rotary Club of Norway was held on 4/12/2025. The chief guest, Rendisha Winston, founder of I Manager publication, addressed the gathering on the subject balancing a successful career and life. And after the pleasantries, the meeting was adjourned for dinner after national anthem. Thank you.
Thank you, Club Secretary, Romanian Advocate Muthukarpillai. Now this is time for the President's address. The President of Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL, Romanian Mayor Silvestre.
Good evening to all. Respected Chief Guest of the evening, Dr. James R. Daniel, sir, the former Principal of Scott Christian College, and his beloved heroine, my friend, Rotarian PDG Major Donor JECINTHA DHARMA, and the guest of honor, Rotarian G. Geeta Fels, our Honorable Secretary, Rotarian Advocate M.K. Muthukarpillai, visiting PAGs from various parts of the district, Rotarians and guests and visiting Rotarians or various clubs, and well-wishers and Rotary greetings to all. I am indeed honored to stand here to talk about in representing Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL, which is 76 years old, which is a prestigious club. On behalf of us being a president, I am very happy to address here. Dedication and hard work that makes your dreams come true. Yes. Rotarian PDG JECINTHA DHARMA, she had a vision. And the quotes also say that she is a hard working woman with dedication, determination, and with good thoughts in her mind, she attained her goal. She gave her life to reach her goals and dreams. And her partner was there by her side for her to reach her goals. She was not waiting for the opportunities to come to her, but she fought for the opportunities and all her success because of this constant work, hard work. Rotary is a passion. This shows that is why she has taken the Rotary theme for her doctorate. She has a passion for Rotary, and her interest is always, her thoughts are always in and around Rotary. She always carries a symbol of Rotary on her neck. JECINTHA DHARMA never gave up strong willpower and give her the success and became the DG, which is a pride for our club and also the pride for our district to be the first woman district governor. She has shown her leadership and her enthusiasm from her school days. Both were in the same class, same school. I know her from her early childhood, and she grew up with leadership qualities. And she was the school people leader and the Rotaract Interact president, and then in the college she was a Rotaract president, and she scored good marks, gold medalist in the college and also in B.Ed. Her enthusiasm towards Rotary, she never kept time for her life, her personal life. She is any time ready to work for the society, and she has a passion to teach what she knows. she wants to teach it to the people who are in need of it. That is her passion. She is a pleasing person with a heart of charity and helping. She is fond of sharing with the poor. We have gathered to honor the PDG JECINTHA Dharma who truly deserve it. Let this milestone be an inspiration to many to achieve their dreams. Let us all now give her a loud applause in the hands to honor her sleepless nights, hard work and determination. That is the motto of her victory. Now, along with all my Rotarians gathered here, with a cheerful heart, I say to JECINTHA, my friend, congrats JECINTHA, all the best. With these few words, I end my address. Thank you.
Thank you, Rotarian President Rotary. Maria Silvester for your president's address. Now the time for Rotary information. So I request our past president, Dr. Arunachalam, to disseminate the Rotary information, please.
Good evening to all Rotarians. Madam Dr. JECINTHA Madam, tension குறைஞ்சாச்சா உங்களுக்கு? இன்னும் இருக்கா? She was very tense for the last 2 weeks because it was a long-standing function, and fortunately today we have my beloved friend Dr. Gibbs or Daniel. Welcome you, sir. And also the guest of honor, Dr. Geeta Santini. I welcome you, madam. The time given to me is only 2 minutes for Rotary information. So it's very simple. I like to say the Rotary information before independence and after independence. So the first, before independence, the Rotary Club of Nilgiris probably would have been started by the British people. Then in the year 1944, the Rotary Club of Tirunelveli started. And next, the Rotary Club of Tuticorin in 1946. Then after the independence, we started our own Rotary Club in 1949. We have sponsored nearly 12 clubs. First one is the Rotary Club of Coilo, 1949. And the same year, the Rotary Club of Trivandrum also started in 1949. And the Rotary Club of Valliur started 1961. And Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL Midtown, 1976. Rotary Club of Tatkalai, 1984. Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL South, 1984. And Rotary Club of Ithambuli, 2003. Rotary Club of Valliur Central, 2006. And Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL Blossom in the year 2013. And Rotary Club of Marthandam, Queens, in the year 2014. And the Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL Queens, 2014. And finally, the Rotary Club of Central, 2021. And I don't know, the Innerville Club, it was started in the year 1975. With these few words, I like to thank for the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your information. Now the time for introducing the guest of honor, Romanian Dina, the Secretary of Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL Supreme. So in this regard, I request Romanian Club Secretary Advocate Muthu to introduce the guest of honor.
Good evening. Rotarian Gita Shandini Fells, guest of honor, Rotarian Dr. Gita Shandini Fells, co-created as Vice Principal and Associate Professor of Head of the Department of English and Research Center, Women's Christian College, Norway, having put in more than 3.5 years of decades of service. Her doctorate thesis was on the legendary Christian preacher, writer and novelist John Bunyan, which was later published as a book, Truth in Bunyan's Spiritual Trigonometry, Notes to Crack and Eat, and the book releasing function was held in this hall of Rotary Community Center in the year 2019. Post-retirement, she served as the principal of Bethlehem College of Arts and Science, Carmel and Rogers College of Arts and Science, Vadakapura. Dr. Gita Shandini Fells is a Rotarian, past president of Rotary Club of Gems, and as a member of social welfare project of gifting a motorized three-wheeler to a differently abled young girl at a cost of Rs 1 lakh was national accolades. During his tenure as president, the club won Platinum Award. A singer, speaker, and writer, Dr. Gita Fells has brought out a good number of musical albums included as well as WCC College Choir in both English and Tamil that are available on YouTube, and she has also scored music and set them on to tune for singing. She composed the college anthem for Women's Christian College and Bethlehem College and School of Anthem for Anand Nityan School, Orissa. Besides her Rotary service, Dr. Gita Fells involves herself in other social activities also. She has addressed seminars and conferences on many and English literacy themes in different colleges. She has also served as the organizing secretary in the 4th KAAS conference, and currently she serves as the secretary of the Club of NAGERCOIL Supreme and secretary of James Academy of Modern English Studies. With these viewers, I am very happy to be the guest of honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Rotarian Club Secretary Muthu, for your introduction. Now the time, the chief guest enters, the guest of honor, Rotarian Gita Fells.
Dear and honorable Rotarians on and off the dais, President of Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL, Assistant Governor of Rotary Club NAGERCOIL, past District Governor Dr. JECINTHA DHARMA, Chief Guest of the evening Dr. James R. Daniel and Professor Susila James, Secretary of RC Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL, past and present presidents, AGs and secretaries of other clubs, I feel privileged to introduce a valuable thesis to you. And that too, written by a member of your club. As we can see, the research scholar has been having a steady progress from a Rotary school to the most honorable post of governor of a district, RA 3212. And that is none other than Dr. JECINTHA Dharma, the first lady governor of 3212, whose golden words worthy of remembering are, we must have passion for Rotary and compassion for humanity. She knows every nook and corner of Rotary. Her knowledge of Rotary is not just theoretical, she has lived Rotary and she lives for Rotary. Her dream of writing a doctoral thesis and getting doctorate degree in Rotary, though originated and started proceeding a few years back, it was hampered due to unavoidable circumstances. It was last year when I found the last burning ember in her heart that I poured oil and ignited her passion to continue writing the thesis. And the privilege and plus point was Dr. James or Daniel was her guide. There can be countless guides in the world, but Dr. James, in one word, can be called guide of guides. He is a guide to all guides. Under his guidance and my co-guidance, a beautiful thesis evolved, fit to be submitted to any and every prestigious university. Rotary world has to be grateful to Dr. JECINTHA for the essence of all Rotary is put in this thesis. If you want to say, use one word for this thesis, you can say Rotary. There is nothing in Rotary that is not said here, and even beyond that we can say Rotary's very spirit, its very future is portrayed here. And with the excellent typing of three ladies, Mrs. Jelin, Mrs. Sharmila and Miss Marriott, it has become a thing of beauty also, a joy forever. Now, as the guest of honor and as the co-guide of Dr. JECINTHA Dharma, I would like to present a short PowerPoint on the thesis for two reasons. First is, this is not a thesis submitted to get any promotion. It is not a namesake thesis either. It is not a money procure thesis. It's a real, it's a genuine thesis. Thesis written out of genuine love for Rotary. And secondly, it is a thesis of hard work and sacrifice and sleepless nights on the part of the research scholar, co-guide and the guide. And it will be all futile if this thesis does not reach the ears of the Rotarians, if it is not made known to them. So, as the co-guide, I want to give a review of her thesis, a very short, brief review telling what she has written in this thesis. Okay. And this is the title, Beyond the Borders, Locating Rotary International as a Global Fellowship for Peace and Harmony. This is her photo, her number, everything submitted for the doctoral degree. Next. And this, the guide and the co-guide. Next. Now these pictures show how much time we spent in writing this thesis at Dr. James's office room. He's there. And the last two pictures, before submitting, she's handing over a copy of the thesis to us. Next. And one previous one. And Mr. Dharma is also there, and we are having the thesis in our hand. And during the celebration, Rotarian Mr. Murugan, he is also. We gave him the thesis and took a photo there. Next. Now this is the content page. This is in the content page. Everything, all the titles, the page numbers, everything are given there. Next. Now this is chapter 1. Now I would just, before telling about the 7 chapters briefly, I would just want you to know that this pattern is followed here. The chapter number will be given there, and 3 beautiful quotations we have included for all the chapters. And one quotation we have put here. And this all the quotations for the 7 chapters will be uttered by some Rotary leaders. The first one is written by Stephanie Arki. Rotary is an organization of business and professional persons united worldwide to promote humanitarian service, encourage high ethical standards in all vocation and help goodwill and peace in the world. So each chapter will begin with 3 quotations. Now what the research scholar had given in the first chapter at the outset, what she has done is what Rotary is. It is a service organization. And in the very first page itself she has said that it is something that strives for global peace, literacy, women's empowerment, health and hygiene, medical needs, social welfare programs, peace and harmony, etc. And under the subtitle, Rotary Humanitarianism, she has underscored Rotary's global outreach program, Polio Plus. Next, she goes on to give a brief overview of Rotary, how Rotary works, how it uses its funds through district and global grant projects. Then she goes on to tell about the evolution of Rotary, the birth and growth of Rotary. And it will be quite interesting to know the evolution of Rotary. And as we all know, the 4 friends, Gustavlo, Sylvester Scheme, Hirami Shori and Paul P. Harris, they met together as friends, and then they had the formal meeting of the world's first Rotary Club, and that only paved the way for International Association of Rotary Clubs. And it is given a very beautiful, interesting manner, she has explained. And then she has given a review of literature of 12 books, the books she has used for this thesis. And then she goes on to explain the 3 key terms in the thesis: beyond the borders, global fellowship, peace and harmony, like that. And she tells the aim also. The aim is to acquaint the peace-loving general public of the various peace initiatives at the international, regional and local level. And the methodology adopted is very simple, direct, straightforward, ever data-based, descriptive synthesis of the main findings, so that a very beautiful, coherent, discursive discourse of Rotary International's Peace Initiative is formed, how it is doing. And she has followed the MLA style sheet, PMLA, Publication of Modern Language Association, USA 9th edition. Then she goes on to the 2nd chapter, and the 2nd chapter, the title of the chapter is Service Above Self Towards Goodwill, Peace and Understanding. And here the quotation of Sekhar Mehta, Rotarians are excellent tenants of this planet as we truly live to the motto Service Above Self. Together let us continue to be architects of hope, champions of compassion and pioneers of charity. And that quotation is included there. Now in this chapter, she deals with Rotary's principal motto, Service Above Self. Many slogans like service not self, he profits most who serves best, serve first. But the Rotary Council on Registration designated Service Above Self as the principal motto. Okay, how to carry out this service? Through the 5 avenues of service, and she has listed that. Then she goes on to tell about the object and objectives of Rotary, Rotary emblem, Rotary flag, and the common Rotary prayer and other prayers also. And in a very interesting manner, he has explained how the 4-way test was formed. And we all say the 4-way test, but she has beautifully said how the four-way test originated. And she goes on to tell that Herbert J. Taylor, this person gives his experience. He was working in an aluminium company, and the aluminium company was at the verge of going bankrupt. So they asked him, do something, save this company from bankruptcy, and the credit was nearly $4 lakh. So they borrowed 16,100 and started work. Everything was good, product was good, but the commodities, things were also good. So they decided to develop something in their organization which the competitors won't have. So they thought about character, dependability, and service mindedness. And they thought, let us choose good person for this company, give them a measuring stick of ethics, so that everybody in the company could memorize. And that is how our four-way test was formed. They formed these four things, and when they followed these four instructions, they removed all advertisements, undrew things, and they eliminated all detrimental comments. And finally, they earned the friendship and the goodwill of their competitors. And slowly the company developed, they progressed, they paid the debts, paid the stockholders for nearly $1 million in dividends, and then had a current value of $2 billion. Now, when we read that thing, even though mechanically we say the four-way test, when we read that, we understand how much it is important. And Herbert beautifully says that first it was very difficult for him to carry it out, but later he met his four heads of the department heads, one a Catholic, one a Christian, one an Orthodox Jew, and one a Presbyterian, who all joined together and carried out the four things. That she explains very beautifully. And then she comes to chapter 3. Chapter 3, structure, function, and programs, human-centric, people-friendly. And here the quotation of M. Muruganathan is added. Times have changed, but one thing remains clear, the importance of a structured approach or cadence in our work. Now, all of you know that a structureless organization will be static and sinking. So here, she has given the structure of Rotary, and the club is the basic unit. She goes on to tell about the club meetings, the chief guest invited, the members responsible for doing the service in the 5 avenues of life, Rotary club bylaws and everything she explains. And beautifully she has said that Rotary envisages a structure that stems from the grassroots to the top. That is district level, zonal level, and Rotary International. And she has beautifully explained what all you find at the district level. District governor and the AGs appointed by him to the multi-club projects. And then she goes on to the zonal level, 15 to 18 Rotary districts for the zone. And then to the Rotary International level, headquarters at Evanston, Illinois. And then the RI governed by the Board of Directors, International President, RI Convention, RI Council of Legislation, everything she says. And the very important point, membership criteria, active and honorary membership, name brand, classification theory, everything is included. And she says that the club represents the cross-section of the business and the professional service of the community. And then she talks about the member retention also. How to help in member retention by showing visual materials, audio, print, and all these things. And then she goes on to tell about the auxiliary bodies like Rotary Community Corps, Innerville, and Interact. And then some Rotary firsts are also included. That is, when was Rotary started in America, South America, Africa, like that she says. And then about the Rotary publications, membership development action plan, bylaws, Rotary International bylaws, Rotary Club constitution, Rotary awards, everything she discussed. And very importantly, Rotary district funds grants, global grants, Polio Plus, and everything. And then we come to the chapter 4, women as frontline warriors. Rotary is not just like a beautiful tapestry or quilt with different squares. They don't speak the same language, one is male, the other is female, and together they represent how we are one as an organization. It is our differences that make the strongest and the best in the world. It's a very nice chapter where she tells how women were treated as equal partners in decision making and leadership roles, because women had to struggle for equality. Till 1989, women were not allowed. The Rotary Club of Chicago filed a case, the appeals court and the Supreme Court supported, thus women came to Rotary. And in Angel Murphy's club, 3 women were there. Dr. Kim Casio became the first woman club president, and Angel Matthews, a Rotarian from South Carolina, became the first RA president. Then she goes on to tell about the experiences of women Rotarians, one or two like Brenda Thompson and Gita Jera, and she gives a chronological account, quoting the date, how slowly women struggled, how there was policy shift until 2013 when gender became neuter. And Women's Day celebration, now International Women's Day, that also made a glorious chapter in the annals of the evolution of women's empowerment in Rotary International. And Rotary, 3 Rotary women were recognized on 7th March by the World Bank in Washington, D.C., USA, for their commitment in improving lives through their humanitarian projects. And then, quoting some examples, she has said how the work of ladies in the Rotary clubs helped poor Indian women gain access to mental care, how they were able to vaccinate hundreds against polio in West Africa. All these things she says in the chapter on women. And then we go on to the chapter 5, the Good Samaritan. And here we have the quotation of Rotarian Raju Subramaniam. Rotary extends his hand to help you to become better individuals. Now this chapter deals with Rotary as a Samaritan and Rotarians at local levels too as good Samaritans. And this Samaritan work it will be reflected in the service projects that are carried out in the clubs. And she talks about Rotary funding, exchange of fellowship, and all the avenues of service, because through this only a good Samaritan works. There are so many things. When you read the thesis, you know that scholarship, Rotary fellowship, and all these things she mentions. And you all know in the Bible, the Good Samaritan is the person who loved his neighbor and attended to the needs of the man who was attacked by a robber. In modern days, Samaritan is one who acts selflessly to help others, indeed mirroring the biblical parable's message of compassion and neighborly love. And so, in this chapter, as an example, she has mentioned the Good Samaritan works of 2 local clubs, and one is the Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL. And in that club, you all belong to that club, and Dr. JECINTHA, the first lady down of 3-1-2, and the second in Tamil Nadu after PDG Rega Shetty. She served as president in Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL. And during her period, she did a lot of work, and all of you are witnesses to that. For peace and harmony, for women liberation, for community service, everything she has done a lot. And Shekhar Mehta's words, feminism is not about making women strong. Women are already strong. You know this, Dr. JECINTHA DHARMA is already strong. It's about changing the way the world perceives that strength. You all have been witnesses to her work, and she became the district governor, and when she was the governor, she did 12,877 service projects, and there were 127 clubs and 34 AGs. They conducted medical camps, vocational training, literacy and education, heart camps, donation, COVID activities. And the guild of service, you know that collector of his cover limit, handicap women, they are helping. and Rotary Computer Center in the Rotary Community Center, and the Rotary Institute of Spoken English, English and Platinum Jubilee Project, everything. And all these things, you can be proud of that all the things are present in the thesis of Dr. JECINTHA Dharma, the first thesis, Rotary thesis written in India. And then we come to the last but one chapter towards peacemaking. And here she beautifully says that, she points the quotation, chapter number 6. She says that as peace builders, we prevent conflicts before it happens. That is, we are not peace brokers or people and organizations that can negotiate the release of hostages or can stop a war. We cannot do that. But as peace builders, we can prevent conflict before it happens. We create the conditions that need to exist for a peaceful society. If people need clean water, we go and provide it. If people are uneducated, we go and provide education. If people need employment, we give them skills. So, we are creating the conditions necessary for a peaceful society to exist. So she has given a comprehensive account of Rotary's direct involvement through many channels for the establishment of peace and tranquility in a war-ridden world. And this chapter revolves around all the peace initiatives undertaken by the Rotary International in collaboration with global bodies such as the UNO and the Red Cross Society and other associations. And how Rotary trains, how the Rotarians and Rotaractors are trained to be peace facilitators, how the Rotary alumni are trained to be project leaders, and how clubs assist with projects that promote peace, how Rotary network is connected with peace building resources, peace corps, peace fellowship, peace history, peace fellows, peace forums, peace centers and conflict resolution, World Peace and Understanding Day, and the recent peace initiatives, peace through music. Everything is beautifully discussed in the 6th chapter. And then we come to the last chapter, the 7th chapter, summation and unending journey. This is the sublime, the most important, beautiful part of the thesis. And the quotation, the words by Rotarian K.R. Ravindran is put there. Rotary spirit can move mountains, change lives, and leave a legacy that inspires generations to come. And this chapter is very important because the futuristic vision of Rotarians, of Rotary is listed here. What legacy Rotary is going to leave for the world, that is also said here. And she starts with the evolution of a global community. When you read the last chapter, you have a thrilling experience. When you read that, you yourself feel proud that you are in Rotary. And so she talks about the evolution of a global community. How to become a global community, global give and take. Each person, even if he does a small thing, that will ripple outwards. And then he need not do any grand gesture. Small things will lead to great things. And so first she stresses global community membership. And there she says, national patriotism is okay, but international understanding is very important. Global goodwill. And a beautiful line, Rotarians think globally and act globally, think globally and act nationally, and think globally and act globally. And a beautiful example of Kolanjeri club is given there. It was a simple local club, but when it developed, what it did was reminiscent of the Red Cross Society, what the Red Cross Society does at the global level for peace during times of war. Such example is given. And the most important point for global community is global stability. How can you become stable? Challenges are there, inequality, environmental degradation, pandemic are there. And Rotary fosters global understanding, promoting peace and collective action to address humanity's pressing challenges. So she stresses the collective reaction. how to navigate the complexities of an increasingly interconnected world towards the achievement of Rotary goals, she beautifully says. And so, always motivation and inspiration is very important for Rotarians. So, she has given the example of success stories. You would have heard about success stories. The stories where Rotarians have been successful, but read by other Rotarians will make them do more and more for Rotary, and there she has said about Shekhar Makta, who after tsunami in the Indian Ocean helped build nearly 500 homes for families affected by the disaster and 1,500 life-changing heart surgeries which he conducted, she mentions. And another beautiful example, she tells about the tsunami which completely changed this Ceylon. In Ceylon also, the aftermath story of that tsunami, when after the tsunami hit, the Rotary Foundation contributed 3 billion and the overseas Rotary clubs paid for the construction of schools. And the Sri Lanka American Red Cross, the Sri Lanka gave some software for computers, and the American Red Cross also contributed a lot, gave libraries and all these things, and plumbing, sewage, everything was given. So together they turned despair to hope and devastation to community. And in the last point she says that, okay, everything is good, but everything can succeed only if membership is retained. So she concentrates on that. How diversified people can be brought here, women can be brought here. They can do simple things which will last. And 2 things mentioned here finally. What that is, we all will join together and do more. What can we do? Reach out to the unreached. The future of Rotary is in your hands. Go and improve the water sanitation, getting the district grants and the global grants. Improve try to empower girl children, health, disease and vaccination, and preventable diseases. Give home for the homeless. When there is climatic change or eco-injustice or environmental degradation, help handle disaster. And try to solve the environmental justice also, she says. And very importantly, peace. She addresses the root cause of conflict, the root cause of war, by promoting global understanding. And she says Rotary can create a harmonious world. And she asked the question, is peace possible? Yes, peace is possible. It is possible with the Rotary service, with the Rotaractors. If Rotary wants, it must be peacemakers, and it could bridge the divide and close the gaps. The common goal of Rotary should be to eradicate misery. And the very beautiful line that touched my heart is, we are here, more left to be done, challenges to be completed, stories yet to be given, happier endings. When we write a story, ending is in our hand. If we want, we can give a happy ending. If we don't want, we can give a bad ending. But Rotary is in our hands. Everything is in the hands of the Rotarians. We can give a happy ending to the Rotary work by doing good things. And we can, in the global scenario, we can be peace builders. And the peace building activity, there, it is a life, and what we need is oxygen. What is the oxygen that we need? Compassion. And again, from where I began, I am concluding the words of Dr. JECINTHA Dharma. What we need is passion for Rotary and compassion for humanity. So Rotary is an ongoing journey. It is like a river. And the path is only Rotary serves. Rotary is borderless, boundless, bridgeless. One world, one humanity that adds power, potence, and persuasion. And the journey of peace shall go on forever. With the beautiful lines, she says, we have miles and miles to go before we sleep. So the Rotarians have to know that and do that. So with a beautiful ending, she has completed. Thank you so much for listening patiently, because I wanted everybody to know about the thesis, and in order to create a small interest for you to read the thesis only, I explained in detail. Please, this book is here. her thesis is here. Please, whenever you get an opportunity, get this book and read this book. Very nice book. It will be definitely useful. Madam, thank you so much for doing a great thing to the world of Rotary. Rotary has been everything for you. Thank you so much for doing this to you. And we all congratulate you in the name of Rotary. We congratulate you. Thank you for your patient listening.
Thank you, Mr. Connor, to read the readers for your information. Now, we come to attention to our chief guest for this evening, Comedian Dr. James Cameron. So I invite our past president, AP Dr. Krishna Kumar, to introduce the eminent speaker to the audience.
Dear Rotary President, Rotarian Maria Sylvester, distinguished chief guest of the evening, my dear friend Dr. James R. Daniel and Madam Susila Daniel, Secretary of Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL, Madam Geeta Phelps, dear Rotarians, guests and seniors, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to introduce the chief guest. When the Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL invites a chief guest who has high academic distinctions, has held high posts and positions in the society, they are internationally acclaimed teachers, authors, and so on, they usually call me to introduce the chief guest. I am kept at reserve so that I can be called at any time to do this interesting function. Last time I did was with Professor Dr. Jebamale Arach. In fact, it is an honor that is bestowed on me, and it's always a pleasure to introduce one of the persons with whom I have a 50-year-long relationship, half a century relationship. In 1974, I joined Scott Christian College in the pre-university class, and he was my teacher. He joined in the same year as a lecturer in English. Of course, he grew up in the college itself as a reader, professor, and finally retired as a principal of Scott Christian College in 2018. I had a different course altogether, but we were maintaining the relationship all through, even till date. So, if you think he is an English teacher, I was also thinking for a long time that he is the only English teacher, or he is only an English teacher. You are wrong. He had completed an MA in Tamil also, and naturally when you have a proficiency in more than one language, you have an advantage to compare the language and become a translator in the languages you know of, and that has bestowed him with the opportunity of having had many awards in the translation area. He had translated great people's speeches like the presidents of Tanzania, the ministers of the state in the central government, etc. So as an academician, he is being flocked by many people, and one of them is obviously Madam JECINTHA DHARMA. More than 25 Ph.D.s guided, more than 75 M.Phil guided, and of course, leave alone his academic teaching programs. Like I am also one of the beneficiaries of his teaching. He was one of the teachers who taught me English, and with him was Professor Johnson, I remember. He's a good orator in English and Tamil, a very commodity that is available. He has international publications more than 14, national publications of 34 and more. Books are there something around 43. The list is still incomplete. 43 seminars, conferences, etc., some 105, 106. And still he believes that there is miles to go before I sleep. That is what an academician, a real academician, thinks of. He is a visiting professor in many institutions, many universities in India and abroad. He is editor or co-editor in many of the journals. He is a professional speaker, the translator, and presently he is the president of the Third World Studies in South Asia of the South Asia chapter, Kanyakumari district, Thiruvarur Peravai, president of James Academy of Modern English Studies, where I also had an opportunity to go and speak. It professes the English language in Kanyakumari district. He is blessed with, married to Mrs. Susila Madam. She is a very, very, very nice lady. Whenever I go home, she will give a good cup of coffee. I always remember it, and I used to go to her house for a cup of coffee, not for academics. No. So I am pleased to present this great academician and excellent orator, a social figure, and above all, a human being, Professor James or Daniel, to you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Bishop Mark, for a nice way of introducing the Chief Guest. May I now request the Chief Guest, Dr. James Daniel, to address the gathering.
Madam Chairperson and dear friends, it's a great moment in the annals of the Rotary International, Rotary National, and if you don't like to call it Rotary Regional, Rotary National. To the best of my knowledge, for the first time, a very descriptive thesis, it's not critical, but a very descriptive thesis has been written on Rotary. And that is not by a man Rotarian, but by a woman Rotarian. It's a great credit for the whole of humankind, and also the great credit for the Rotary Club. And therefore, may I appeal to each one of you right at the start to give a great round of applause to Dr. Mrs. JECINTHA. She has proved Shakespeare wrong. You might wonder how she has proved Shakespeare wrong. And you know how many of Shakespeare's great Hamlet? How many of you possibly should study it or possibly out of your personal interest? He was amazing. There's a very, very humiliating phrase about Dina. If at all you would ask me the greatest of the greatest writer who has in the worst way humiliated woman, that is Shakespeare. Frailty, thy name is woman. Frailty means weakness, imbecile, good for nothing, absolutely useless thing is Dr. JECINTHA. Not me, Shakespeare. Frailty, thy name is. But today she has proved it's not frailty, Mr. Shakespeare. He died in 1616, long ago, Shakespeare possibly he would change his world view about humanity. It's not frailty, but it is strength. It is vibrance. Thy name is woman. So your name is no longer JECINTHA, now vibrancy, thy name is woman. Congratulations to JECINTHA on her excellent academic performance despite being there in a social organization. And also I especially congratulate Dr. Gita, but for her only, the thesis would not have possibly reached the culmination, and today you would not have had the felicitation together at all. It's only because of Gita. She came in the right time, stepped alone, and finally saw to it the thesis was accepted for the award of the doctorate. My special word of thanks to Dr. Krishna Kumar. Every time I come to Rotary Club, I had the real privilege of being introduced by some of the veterans. My association with Rotary started possibly long before you ever thought of Rotary. You just guess 1972. The year I joined Scottish College, although I had never been a member of Rotary Club, I had been a member of Rotary. It was very good to define the boys as the unacknowledged legislators. Unacknowledged legislators. And one way they can describe me is that unacknowledged Rotarian in the city streets. 1972, the old gods like T.S. Ramsamy, Professor of the Davies, Dr. M.D. JECINTHA, and there was one Paradhyani player, Mr. Paradhyani, why? And Mr. Alvankar Bari, all together, I was a total little boy, just fresh from the university, 24 years old. First, all the teachers was my teacher, but I was a student of Scottish College, and therefore somehow he had some confidence in me. He called me, hey, you are going to handle the exam for the competitive students of Rotary. This was a service project. No Rotary out there. You had the programs only in the Anna Stadium. I still remember in Anna Stadium, having the first classes, and all the veterans being seated in the last couple of rows, listening to me. I was literally traveled a young man. Teaching young girls and boys I can understand, but old men, old women being seated and observing me and watching me. What a fine experience it was. Since then, I've been a regular visitor, and one event I do remember, I never forget, together with Mr. Abu Sharma, and before Mr. Abu Sharma, there was another director. We visited Rotary Club. You remember the Dina? International Literacy Year. National Literacy Authority of India. Everybody entered the literacy movement that was started in the Yakima district. On Sunday, the district director was the president, I was the director and the secretary. They invited us for an interactive discourse. So they spoke, I spoke. You remember who introduced me? I'm really sorry, Prasad is dead, Prasad is dead. His father, Dr. N.D. He ended up to be my father. He was a very close friend of my father. He was the one who introduced me. I said, I'm honored, I'm really honored. And today, he was the president of the Scottish Alumni Association. You are a member of the Scottish Alumni Association, and my first time student in Scottish College. Thank you for the very kind words that the sweet sentiments expressed. Just one thing, and with that I stop. This meeting is called always University Dr. JECINTHA. Felicitation is something that always annoys. Felicitation is something that goes on to move forward. Felicitation is something that will make you change the whole wonder. Felicitation is something that will make you even change Mount Himalaya into a mountain of sand, and that is what felicitation is. And therefore, whenever there is a possibility of felicitating something, do felicitate. And you cannot felicitate a person who is dead. God is dead, you can only deliver a funeral ovation. Not a felicitation ovation, but only a funeral ovation. And therefore, do felicitate. And she's a good researcher, good researcher. I've been a researcher and a guide for more than 4 decades. And therefore, in all the sense that I can certify that here is a good researcher. I am reminded of a very funny incident that took place in the life of Professor Palmer. I didn't know because of this man. Dr. Palmer, Frank, Raymond, Palmer. Students of English, I see a lot of my students among the old days. He was a professor of English at the Medical College, Cambridge. Very brilliant man. And his specialization was teaching English to the non-English people. He was more interested in visiting India, Singapore, Thailand, Japan, the whole of the African Guyana islands, teaching English for 35 long years. Here is a man who was a globetrotter moving around the whole of the world, teaching English to even the first standard, the second standard, the third grade. Just imagine a Cambridge professor, first standard, second standard, third standard students of Africa. He recalls one instance in Nigerian University where he was teaching the grammar, English grammar. As students of English grammar, they all know the number system, right? Number, Tamil yen, word my singular, plural. At the end of the class, he just turned to the students and said, I will tell my students, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. I've been teaching you for the past 2 or 3 hours the number system in English, what is singular, what is plural, boy, the plural is boys, man, the plural is men. And child, the plural is child, is children. He gave a word, trousers, T-R-O-U-S-E-R-S. I'm not going to ask you the answer, already gave the word, T-R-O-U-S-E-R-S, trousers. Tell me, now that I've been teaching English for 2 hours, 3 hours, tell me whether this is singular or plural in English. Absolutely not. There was a pin drop silence. There is silence. And finally, one boy got up to his feet. And what is happened? He's the dullest in the class, the weakest in the class, the idiot in the class who never answer a question. Yes, I'm so happy that you don't put up your hands and you're on your feet to read me the answer. Come on, tell me everything about sir. But no answer. Sir, but no answer. And third time, sir, this is singular at the top and plural at the bottom. This is singular at the top and plural at the bottom. You know what Professor Thomas said? He just knocked it out. And Professor Thomas said, forgive me, absolutely no offenses meant. You are going to be the best researcher. You are going to be the best researcher. Why? Those of you who are regular readers of Shivkari might remember. You remember the famous quote of Shivkari? Great men, can anyone of you complete? Dr. JECINTHA will give you a cash award. Shivkari, she will give a cash award of 1 lakh. Take it from me, I give you the honor as a guy. Shivkari's famous statement, this is very bad. Great men do not do different things, they do it differently. Great men do not do different things, all the same, the routine type of the spiritual thing, but then they do it differently. They do it differently. So very much therefore, you did it differently, and therefore you will be a very successful researcher. You did it differently, and therefore you are a very successful researcher. Alright? So after congratulations and best wishes, there's one word that we have to stop. This is the thesis about. That is not there. Peace. And in your rosary prayer, there is a beautiful line. I don't know how you have to be conscious of the line every time you offer the prayer. You come and give the prayer should be changed. No, necessarily. When I say the prayer should be changed, I'm only talking about the language. You know, your prayer, this is in 16th century Shakespeare's English. Your prayer is not in modern English. Your prayer has the word thou, your prayer has the word has, your prayer has the word be. Something like the Lord's Prayer, Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. But all those things are not there in God. Even Shakespeare's language is very modernized. For all the practical purposes, in schools, high schools and higher secondary schools, and diluted Shakespeare is present because this is a language that was written 600 years ago. For every 30 years, the language evolved, and the language has close to change, and therefore, whoever the person be responsible, I would appeal you to change it to modern English. You are not Shakespeare, you are not Shastra, you are not Elizabethans, you are all Indians. And living in the 21st century, I do believe that the high time that we shifted and changed and corrected language to modern. There's one line. When Jesus was born, the message was simple. The angelic hosts were singing. That's the first choir ever sung. Glory to God in the highest. We're certainly saying you can complete. Because that is in your prayer. Glory to God in the highest. Come on, tell me. Dr. Arunachal, if you don't tell me, you should immediately resign and go. You have been the oldest. Before that, you know, that's one thing. I can give you 50 marks. No, 1 lakh. Glory to God in the highest. Peace on earth and goodwill to all. The 2 lines were literally taken from the Koran song, the song of the angels. And that is beautifully integrated into your prayer. Goodwill and peace. And these are the 2 things that ultimately count. Very focused on the thesis, Dr. Dina has been able to give a very exhaustive presentation of what the thesis is about, right from the introduction, the first to the 7th chapter, all the highlights, and the thesis in a nutshell. The very purpose that she said is that she was somehow to be able to inculcate in each one of your interest to read the thesis. Not just facilitate and felicitate and say, hello, congratulations, thank you, shaking hands and get out. On the other hand, get a copy and return it. See, to the Buddhist return and read and get to know exactly what we have been able to do for the past more than 100 years. That is the purpose. But remember, if at all there is one thing very instructively the Rotary has done, this is the establishment of peace on earth. The establishment of peace on earth obviously entails goodwill to all, extending process of love to all, kindness and sympathy. It was Mr. Guru who once said when receiving the Nobel Prize. 2006 he was the recipient of the Nobel Prize. You remember one of the famous quotes of his Nobel Prize is that was, if you want to make peace, do not talk to your friends. If you want to make peace, do not talk to your friends. Talk to your enemies. Talk to your enemies. This has become both far outside the court of Mahatma Gandhi. If you want to establish peace on earth, don't talk to your friends, but talk to your. This is precisely the problem that impacts the whole world. Rotary puts it, Paul has put it so beautifully. If you know there is one thing that we just quote, I have brought the quote with me, Paul has just quote. And this is a quote which I am sure that all of you should be familiar with it. The foundation upon which Rotary is built is friendship. On no less foundations could it have been stood. The only thing that matters is friendship. But then he goes on to say, I have no hesitation in saying that world peace could be achieved if really the firm foundation of friendliness, tolerance, usefulness, even to your adversary. Even to your enemies. Even to your enemies. Possibly he anticipated this to around 8 years when he was conferred with the Nobel Award. And therefore today, as we congratulate, as we facilitate our best wishes to Dr. JECINTHA, the only message that we should carry home is that we should all become ambassadors of peace. Who are you? I'm not a Rotarian. I'm an ambassador of peace. I don't know how many of your regular readers of Upanishads. How many of you read Upanishads regularly? How many Upanishads are there? Oh, I'm sorry, it's not a peace contest. I'm the chief guest delivering the talk. Well, and most of the Upanishads end with a pretty essential expression, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And T.S. Eliot, when interpreting the line, offered the interpretation, Shanti, 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 is a Sanskrit word which cannot just be rendered into English. It's almost like a word that Jesus used when he was ascending to heaven. Lo, I leave my peace with you. A peace that the world cannot give, a peace that passes understanding, a peace that is beyond your reach. A peace which God alone can give us a gift. And now here, 2,500 years ago, the Upanishads of India talk about Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. That's the way that it gets. Simple story with that I get. Lord Prajapati was there. Who is Prajapati? King of kings, Lord of lords, Lord of gods. He's a Lord Prajapati. And all the three great creations, all the great creations, gods, demons, and men. Sura, Asura, Manushya. Sura is God. Asura is demon. And we are Manushas. All the three people went to the after undergoing a program of 16 long years after getting a PhD degree, the Manushya, the Sura, and Asura, they went to Lord Prajapati and they asked him, Master, you have very successfully completed the program with a PhD degree. Bless us and give us a guideline as to how we should perform ourselves when we get back into the world. Prajapati opened his mouth and said, God. And man, yes, I understand that. Go away. Then Sura came, God. This is I understand that. I go. Asura came, God. In Sanskrit, there are both words. In Tamil, we know only one word. Tata. And a Manushya took it. Tata, Dayatva, Damyata. Tata. Even though you can be a man, you can do only one thing. What is it? Perform. Perform. Giving. You give. If you really know the secret of giving, all the time give yourself to the others, all the time give yourself to the other community, beyond the borders. It is not the Rotary Club of NAGERCOIL, it is not Gayana, it is not Tamil Nadu, it is not India. The universe is so vast, go beyond the borders. So you will be able to understand the message of give or anything beyond the borders. Not giving to the wife, not giving to the children, not giving to the relatives, not giving to the people of your community. The only thing that they can give to the whole world is peace. Sometimes the wife is irritated in the church home, you remember the word that fits on the mouth of the wife, peace. This is the only thing that matters. And therefore giving. So Manushya, the message of the Prajapati was giving. Yes, it is beautifully puts it at the end of the race plan, for which was given the Nobel Prize in the year 1942. And then the Asura started, what is it? Damyata. Damyata means control, discipline. Control, discipline. Advanced, demons, possessing all powers. Maybe that you become the ruling power at the center. Maybe that you become the ruling dispensation at the state. Maybe that you become the governor. Maybe that you become the president, the secretary. Reading all powers, but remember, power always goes with discipline. Without discipline, there is no power at all. Power without discipline is actions, which leads to damage and destruction. So you deal with that show, and finally God has come. They are the most powerful. What is the message? Damyata. Sympathize. This is the only thing that matters for you. Because you are the Lord of Lords, the Creator of the Creator, the King of Kings. Even though you practice a simple message of sympathize. Gandhi said, an iota of sympathy for your neighbor will make the universe a paradise for all. An iota of sympathy. For whom? For the neighbors, for the people around you. We'll make the whole universe a paradise. And then, every precious day will if you control, if you sympathize, what is it? It gives you peace, peace, peace. So this has been the mission of the Rotary for years. Not just Rotary, this has been the mission of the United Nations Organization, all world bodies that are concerned with the growth and the evolution of the humankind. They establish the peace. If at all there is one thing good that the thesis has done for humankind, I will undoubtedly say this is everything has a passion for the pursuit of peace and happiness on earth. If each one of you could become, Rotarian has no color, no creed, no nation, right? No race, no language. We belong to the whole universe, citizens of the world, and instruments of peace. Let me conclude with one quote from Abraham Joseph, one of the greatest philosophers of modern time, an Oxford veteran, who strongly believes in God. He was not an agnostic or an atheist, but a theistic veteran. Never forget these words. Man includes woman as well, right? Don't think that's a sexist language. Man looks for better methods. Man looks for better methods. How to make the next meeting better than the first meeting? How to make my college better than what it was last year? How to make myself better than what I appeared to be last year? Your concern is always about making something better. Man looks for, or woman looks for better things. But God looks for better men, better women, better people. We look for better things, we look for better material things, but God looks for better men and better women, because you are God's method. Because man is God's method. Man looks for better methods, God looks for better men, because man is God's method. Remember, we are ambassadors of God. We are methods of God. Peace, peace, peace. These are two lines that I never forget from two Tamil poets. Dina Swami. This time I am not asking anything from English language and literature, but I am asking from Tamil. This is the way that Dina was in all his poems. Yellow, Inruchil, Irukka, Nirekpaduve Adavan, Verundu, Adaliye, Yellow, Inruchil, Nirekpaduve Adavan. But then Vadadara was at one part. Vadadara goes one step further, and he says, Yellow, Inruchil is possible only. The wonderful point, I don't know how many of you have read, I will cite the slides. I will quote only the first slide and the last two lines. ஒருமையுடன் எனது திருமகனை நினைக்கிற உணவகம் உறவு வேண்டும் உள்ளோர் வைத்து உறவு பேசுவார் ஒருவனாக வாழ வேண்டும் பெருமையில் எனது புகழ் பேச வேண்டும் வேறு நிறைவேறி கொள்ள வேண்டும். All these things that have been asking his law, giving this oneness of humanity. We always in the company of working in people who are honest, men of integrity and character. Give me. And finally he says, I should not be possessed of this devil, this demon. You know what the demon is? Madhavana. Pay என்னை பிடியாதிருக்க Madhavana. Pay என்னை பிடியாதிருக்க when you talk about peace, Gandhi was all the time cautious, all your religious leaders. You confine yourselves to your own areas, you go beyond, you become the breakers of peace. So I appeal to you, particularly on a day when we are contemplating the idea of excellence is form beyond the borders, locating Rotary International as a fellowship for peace and harmony. Let us be beyond the borders, locating Rotary International as an organization, as a community, as a platform for what peace and harmony. Hello, that will lead to peace, peace, peace. Shanti, shanti, shanti. If this is a message, then you and I can carry home today. I do believe that peace is a serve more than its purpose. So once again, my message is a congratulations to the serious researcher, the studious researcher, over the last 6 or 7 or 8 years that you have been able to work very hard and turn around an excellent business. Congratulations and best wishes. I was also appreciating each one of you for having thought of a felicitation dedicated for a lady who proved 20 is not woman, but vibrancy is woman. The first ever woman peace, and therefore you also deserve the greatest congratulations from all of us. Today's, what is today? Not Thursday, 11th of. What's the significance of 11th of? What is the significance of 11th of December? A day that you should never ever forget. Actually, I wanted to start with that. I reserved it for my. No, listen. I'm talking about India, I'm talking about Tamil Nadu, I'm talking about language. No, Bharatiya's birthday today. This is the day in India, 130 years ago, the great poet Bharati was born. December 11th is born. And 14 days from December 11th, you have a good celebration, Christmas celebration. Glory to God in the highest. Peace on earth and goodwill to all. That is what we pray. Peace on earth and goodwill to all. Let the peace on earth and goodwill to all prevail all over the world. And may every Rotarian become and acknowledge the blessing of giving the message of peace. And I wish you, on behalf of my family, I wish you all, particularly Dr. JECINTHA Dharma and Mr. Dharma, a happy Christmas and a peaceful New Year and a prosperous January, this time it's not January 14, our birthday is going to be on January 15. So happy Christmas, peaceful New Year, and a prosperous moment. May God's great guidance take us all through the whole universe, beyond the borders, forgetting what are the kinds of conceptions that you have made around here. I am a Tamilian, I am a Malayali, I am a Hindu, I am a Muslim, I am a Christian, I speak this, I am white, I am black, I am nothing. As long as you believe the Rotary Creed, go beyond the borders. Goodwill, have peace. Happy Christmas, peaceful New Year, and what more than prosperous moment. Thank you very, very much. All Rotarians and ladies and gentlemen, for your attention.
Thank you, Chief Guest, Dr. James Daniel, for your thought-provoking speech. Now, we proceed to honoring the Chief Guest, and of course, our PDG, Dr. JECINTHA Dharma, to honor the Chief Guest with the memorial.
Congratulations, all the best.
Thank you. I request to take JECINTHA Dharma to honor the guest of honor. Thank you. And I request the President, the Mayor, the Investor, and the Coordinator to honor PDG JECINTHA, please. Coordinator.
ஓகே இங்கே பார்த்து
Thank you.
மேடம் இங்கே பார்த்து
Okay, thank you. Next.
Thank you very much. Now it's time for issuing the distributing the certificate of the students for computer studies. So, student Manisha, all the computer students, please come to the stage. Computer student, all can come to the stage, please.
അങ്ങനെ എല്ലാ സീരിയൽ അടിക്കിട്ടില്ല രണ്ടുപേരും വേണം ഫോട്ടോ എടുക്കുന്നത് ഫോട്ടോ എടുക്കുന്നത് மேலே ரெண்டு பேர் யார் சொல்லிடுமா மேலே ரெண்டு பேர் மேலே வாங்க கிட்ட சேர்ந்து லேப்டாப் லேப்டாப்பை க்ளோஸ் பண்ண கேட்குறேன் இங்கே பாருங்க இங்கே பார்த்தோம் எல்லாரும் இங்கே பாருங்க ப்ரோ கொஞ்சம் சைடில் வாங்க இங்கே பார்த்தோம் வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க சார் மொபைல் கொஞ்சம் கீழே எடுத்தோம் இங்கே பாருங்க அவன் வேறு எடுக்க சொன்னானே இங்கே பார்த்தோம் நோட்டிருமா ஆனால் அந்த டேபிளை கொஞ்சம் அங்கே எடுத்தோம் ப்ரோ ரெண்டு பேரும் மேலே வரலப்பா இருந்தீங்க கிட்ட சேர்ந்தோம் ஓகே இங்கே பாருங்க எல்லாரும் சார் கொஞ்சம் சார் கொஞ்சம் ஓகே இங்கே பாருங்க எல்லாரும் இங்கே பாருங்க கேமரா பாருங்க வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க Thank you.
Thank you for taking it. Take this. And all the computer students also take certificates. Now it's time for honoring our PDG, Dr. JECINTHA DHARMA, by all the past assistant professors of RI district 3212 for the year 2021 and 22.
பேசிக்கோ. சார் இங்கே பார்த்துருவாங்க சார், இங்கே பாருங்க மேடம், இங்கே பாருங்க. ஓகே மேடம், இங்கே பார்த்துவாங்க மேடம், இங்கே பாருங்க.
ஆமாம், கரெக்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
பின்னாடி ஒரு சொட்டை போட்டு
சொட்டை போடுங்க.
மாலை இங்கே பாருங்க சார், இங்கே பாருங்க, இங்கே பார்த்துருவாங்க மேடம், இங்கே பாருங்க. சார் இங்கே பாருங்க. ஓகே
போடவே ஒரு நேரம் ஆகிட்டா
சார், சைடில் வாங்க, இங்கே பாருங்க, இங்கே பார்த்துருவோம்.
அண்ணாச்சி, அண்ணாச்சி இந்த சைடு வந்துடுங்க. அண்ணாச்சி அந்த சைடு, அந்த சைடு.
ஓகே, இங்கே பாருங்க, அந்த பேக் பின்னாடி வச்சிருங்க, அதை பின்னாடி வச்சிருங்க.
மேடம், 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 பிரசிடென்ட் இங்கே பாருங்க, இங்கே பாருங்க. ரெடி?
இங்கே பாருங்க மேடம், இங்கே பாருங்க மேடம், இங்கே பாருங்க, இங்கே பாருங்க சார், இங்கே பாருங்க, இங்கே பாருங்க.
ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ. எங்க போகும்போது
சார், இங்கே பாருங்க சார், சைடில் வந்துருங்க, இங்கே பாருங்க. ஓகே
இது யார் போன?
இந்த பக்கம் வாங்க. ஓகே, இங்கே பாருங்க,
இது யார் போன?
இங்கே பாருங்க, கையெடுத்து வாங்க, இங்கே பாருங்க, இங்கே பாருங்க மேடம், இங்கே பாருங்க. மேடம் சென்டரா வந்துருக்கு மேடம், சென்டரா.
The these are all the dignitaries honoring about Lamamba Rotary and JECINTHA. Now it's time for vote of thanks.
அதெல்லாம் போடாம இருக்குமா? நீங்க தலையெல்லாம் கூப்பிடலாம் தரலாம்.
Good evening, dear friends. My Rotary greetings to all of you, and very particularly for the people adorning this day. My thanks to each and every one of you for gathering here to be with me, for witnessing my presentation ceremony. I'm really very glad, very happy. Thanks a lot for every one of you, and very particularly for my dear ladies who have come all the way from different areas to be with me, and also the other Rotarians who are here. Thanks a lot, thank you very much. And my sincere thanks to my guide, a very eminent personality, Dr. James, sir, and also my co-guide, my good friend, Dr. Dina. I think both of them have taken real pains to complete my work. Otherwise, I would not have completed. I am very sure, I am not sure that the thesis was completed only by the strenuous work of my guide and co-guide. I think their pain and strength have really given me gain, and their commitment and involvement only that has given me the sense of achievement. I enjoy the feeling of achievement having got this degree in my old age also. After retirement I have done it, and I have started it 10 years ago, and I am able to do it only because of the proper guidance given by my guide and also my co-guide. They have really taken lots of pain and strength to give me this degree, and I am very thankful to God Almighty for this chance, because it is not really about peace and harmony only, and Rotary's role also, it was already given by our co-guide. And once again, my thanks to each and every one of you who are present here, and I am very thankful to the President and Secretary for having even arranged for this function, and sincere thanks to some of the Rotarians like Dr. Selman and Dr. Beloved Boilas and Vanilla. They really involve themselves in all the activities. So now I am thankful to all of you. Thanks a lot once again to each and every one of you for your august presence and for your sincere blessings. Let us all work together to create peace and harmony through the activities of Rotary. Once again, thanks to you. And I am very thankful to family members who have been with me always, who are with me for all my activities, where during my governorship and even now to achieve this goal. All of us know that it's not without the support of the family members we can never do, and that too for a woman it will not be possible without the support of the family members. And the love and affection which they showed to me, I am really very happy. And once again, my thanks to each and every one of you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, PDG JECINTHA DHARMA, for your meaningful and sincere word of thanks. Now, can you all stand for the national anthem? No? Okay. The time is up and there is no national anthem. So, can you take a photo picture?
வேண்டாம் வேண்டாம். யாரே ஒரு ஆளு கூட வந்து
Valuable tips from the PDG shop on 312 during the PDG talk. This is the now. Thank you so much. All the PDG for honoring our PDG. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey. வாங்க தம்பி. பைக் நீங்கள் கூப்பிடாம உங்கள் டீம் வந்தானே இது பண்ணுறீங்க. நடக்கட்டும், வாழ்க.
வெட்டிங் போயிருந்தோம்.
யாரோட வெட்டிங்னு எனக்கு தெரியாம நான் என்ன பண்ணேன். அது ரைட் ரைட் நான் அதுதான். ஏன் மேடம் எப்போ போடுறீங்க? அதை கட் பண்ணுங்கம்மா. ரைட் ஹோட்டலில் போடுறது. மறந்தாச்சு. அதான் சரியா என்னை பயன்படுத்திக்கோங்க. அது உங்கள் கிட்ட ரைட் தருவாரேன்.